Well, I probably don't need to tell you that finding reliable color in the early part of the season can be a challenge. But if you'd like to have some bright, cheery little perennials that will brighten up your garden and be able to cope with fluctuating temperatures and still not get too big, then you might want to take a look at these little Icelandic poppies, and in particular this form, which is called garden gnome. Now, this is a form that was grown in Germany now for many years, and as you see, it comes in a selection of colors that are really bright and cheery, and when you look into the flowers, they really are absolutely gorgeous. They look like little rounded bowls of tissue paper or crushed silk, and then in the middle of the flower is this lovely yellow anthers that are just beaming out and glistening bright cheery color. Now, the origins of these plants come from the Arctic and subarctic zones. So here are plants that are very hardy, zone 3, but also plants that have the inherent ability to be able to deal with fluctuating temperatures. That's what makes them so valuable in the early spring season. Now, what's more is they're busy producing new buds from down inside this nice canopy of bluish green foliage all the time. There's lots of little buds coming up that then when they unfold, as you see, they turn into these lovely cheery flowers. And if you go through and deadhead them, that's cut out the old flowers, just when the petals are dropping, you'll find that that will accentuate the flowering and extend it longer. What you'll also find is that these really make very nice cut flowers too. And if you cut them and bring them indoors, you'll find they usually last about 2 or 3 days. But there's a little trick, and that is that if you pick them when they're just cracking color, and you go through at the bottom of the stem and you treat it with a naked flame, in other words, seal it off, you'll find that they'll often last for at least 6 or 7 days. So there's a way that you can use these both as garden perennials, but also as very nice little cut flowers to bring indoors and make a cheery, small arrangement inside your home. Now, the thing with these is that they have a taproot. You see, they grow in nature in sandy, gritty, well-drained soil, and they have a taproot that goes down into the ground, so they do not transplant that well, and that's why it's important to buy nice container-grown plants like these. You'll find that these will easily slip out of the pot. You can place them, then water them, and you'll find then that they'll quickly grow away without any disturbance, and you'll have lots of these gorgeous flowers. Another little trick I would suggest you think about doing with these is certainly to deadhead them, but also perhaps leave a few seed heads at the end of the season, and they will often sprinkle the seeds, and then you get little volunteers that will reseed and keep the clumps going on through. So there you have the Icelandic poppy, and particularly this gorgeous compact dwarf form called Papaver garden gnome.